Right, it's 1 minute gone past the hour of 9. A very wonderful morning to you, and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is News Sponge, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the rounds. I am your host, Nedu Okorie. You are welcome. In the headlines this morning, no nation can thrive without investment in youths, says Tinubu. Tinubu orders clear sharing of power subsidy costs. Oyetola dismisses alleged interference in Osun local government affairs. Federal government approves drug testing in tertiary institutions. FCT court bars NLC, TUC others from embarking on planned strike. Federal government, states, local government shares 1.96 trillion naira December 2025 federal account revenue. Federal government signs MOU with 6 professional bodies to train 10 million Nigerians on financial inclusion. Corruption trial of ex-petroleum minister Alison Madueke resumes in London. EFCC arrests 10 illegal miners in Kwara. Kwara College reopens after security closure. Osun Algon clarifies local government finances after diversion allegations by Assembly. Yelwata killings, 9 suspects plead not guilty to 57-count charge. Onitsha main market reopens amid tight security. Burna Boy loses Best Global Music Album at 2026 Grammys. And moving on to the foreign scene, France adopts 2026 budget after government survives no confidence votes. Israel reopens Gaza's key Rafah border with Egypt. Russia resumes Ukraine strikes after cold weather pause. Crown Princess's son arrested for alleged assault before rape trial in Norway. And in the exciting world of sport, NPFL Salaudin leaves Kwara United for Ikorodu City. And this one says transfer Aribo seals loan move to Leicester City. And those are the major headlines making the rounds this morning. It was compiled and edited by Abiodun Akinwumi. My name is Nedu Okorie. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 0912 929 4332. You can also call 090 7722 7120. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget that you can also follow us by logging on to any of Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net and keep up to date via all our social media pages. Do stay tuned, I'll be right back.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
For my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Why not kill us for Nigeria? Please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold Indomine? It's intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DVS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, I welcome you to the first Tuesday in the month of February 2026. Yes, the first Tuesday edition of Diamond Breakfast Show on your Shining Supreme station. You're listening to the voice of Nedu, Okorie. My friends call me Mazio Dogu since you are my friend. You can call me Mazio Dogu. Well, this morning on the program, we have three important topics to look at this morning. First, we'll be taking a look at a criticism by an opposition figure, a criticism of the Nigerian government for running multiple budgets. Yes, we'll take a look at that particular topic first. Then we'll also transition to how the budget allocation, the improved and increased allocation of funds to state governments have actually fared. There are criticisms and analysis, or will I say statistics, that suggests that state governors have been relying solely on federal allocations without proper utilization. We'll talk about all this in the course of the program. And lastly, we'll take a look at Nigeria's medical system and the need for urgent service delivery. And this particular topic actually stems from the recent incident of, will I say unfortunate incident of a young lady. Yes, she's actually very young, Miss Ifunanya Wangene, who died on the 31st of January this year after suffering a snake bite. Yes, we commiserate and sympathize with her and her family, her friends, and everyone around her. All right, these are the topics we'll be discussing this morning, and I'm not alone to discuss these issues. I'm being joined by a public policy analyst and commentator, Mr. Olanrewaju Temitayo Lawal. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to all our listeners.
All right. A very wonderful morning to everyone listening to us in Ilorin and outside. Let's commence with the program. Yes, talking about Nigeria's budgets, Nigeria's multiple budgets, and the criticism. This criticism comes from Mr. Peter Obi, and is saying that the federal government has been reckless in its spendings, according to him. He's asking the federal government, which budget is Nigeria currently implementing? Even as the Senate is expected to approve the 2026 budget on March 17. And he explained that Nigeria has been running overlapping budgets since 2023. And he noted that President Bola Tinubu inherited 21.83 trillion naira in 2023. That is like, he said he inherited and later added 2.17 trillion naira as a supplementary budget. But let's analyze Mr. Peter Obi's criticism despite the increment of yearly increment, if I must say, of Nigeria's budget. Obi is claiming that the implementation of budget has remained very low, below 50%, despite the reported huge spendings of government. But Mr. Temitayo Lawal, you are here to analyze this issue. What will you say?
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning again to all our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
What Mr. Peter Obi has said, he has echoed the thoughts of a lot of Nigerians who have watched for the first time us as a country running multiple concurrent budgets at the same time. When this administration came into power in 2023, there was a budget that was in place.
Okay.
Passed by the National Assembly and assented to by late President Muhammadu Buhari. He handed over power on the 29th of May. That budget was still running.
Okay.
And as is the custom with administrations the world over, when there's a need for a supplementary budget, it is presented to the legislative arm, that is the parliament. And the president did that. But to the consternation and to the surprise of a lot of us, a lot of Nigerians, every budget is time bound. There's a fiscal period for every budget. It could be quarterly, it could be biannually, it could be annually. In fact, it could be monthly, depending on the time frame for the execution of such budgets. And then there is a need to reflect, to review, to look at the budget performance.
Okay.
So when we got to 2024 and the National Assembly decided to extend the lifeline, give an extension to the running of the 2023 budget, both the main Appropriation Act and then the supplementary. Now we have two budgets in play. 2024, the budget was passed for 2024, while the two budgets that is concurrently running in 2023 is still running. To the best of my knowledge, that's an anomaly. But we live in a country where we normalize abnormality. And for those who have been shouting and saying this is wrong, or this has not been seen before in our history, the government seems to turn a deaf ear to it. It's like we are just shouting in a hollow, and we are only hearing our voices back as an echo. Now, they've gone on past the main Appropriation Act for 2024. While that is also running, that makes 3 budgets now. By September of 2024, the supplementary budget was also submitted to the National Assembly. When the main budget for 2024, the 2 budgets in 2023 were still in play. And the National Assembly came out and told us that December 31st is the deadline for the running of these 4 budget cycles. How do you explain that to a layman, people with limited knowledge in economics and governance? So, and we carried that over into 2025. When the opprobrium became too much, the National Assembly came up and said they were going to repeal and reenact. They were going to repeal and reenact. And lawyers will tell you cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. So when you repeal, that means that budget is no longer functional. Why would you reenact it again? And it creates a lot of confusion, because when you see capital projects being executed, you see roads, flyovers, construction works is going on by the government.
Yes.
That is public funds that is being spent for public good.
Okay.
Now, for the sake of accountability and transparency, the reason why every budget is expected to be time-bound, to have a fiscal period, it could be biannual, it could be annual, is for us to be able to monitor and see that what has been budgeted is what is being expended.
Okay. There's no deficit.
Whether there's a deficit or there's a surplus,
it should be indicated.
That is another matter entirely. What we are saying is, how can we be running 2, 3, 4 budgets concurrently within the same fiscal period? Now you have budgets from previous fiscal periods overlapping into a new fiscal period. It makes monitoring cumbersome. And it also gives a level of opacity that gives the impression that some things are not being done the right way. Some things are not being done correctly. And we should not make it a culture or a tradition. Because one thing with Nigerians is we learn to adapt easily to anything. Now, you will have supporters of the government saying, but at least you are seeing what they are doing. How do we classify the different projects happening? Under which spending? Under which budgets? When all of this is muddled up, then they can hide whatever misappropriation. Because when you see a road, a federal road, for example, running from one state to another state, and the project is ongoing for 2 years, 3 years, yes, you may not be able to finish the road within a fiscal year.
Yes.
But the budget that has been passed, there should be a performance review on it. after the fiscal period has been expended, after the time frame has expired. Once that is done, then you can pick up the next budget and say, okay, ABC road or ABC project, we've done it up to XYZ percent.
Okay.
Then we can pick it up from there and say, okay, because we have done XYZ percent, the remaining percentile, this is the time frame that we're going to use to complete it. It makes everything orderly.
All right. You've said a lot, actually. This, many will call it weak budget management of a particular country, and it has various effects. Talking about investors' confidence, that is one big effect it has, and also issues arising on how to sustain our debt. That is one big issue, and it also calls for sincerity on the part of government. But I want us to look at quickly a way forward concerning this issue. Mr. Peter Obi has called for accountability and transparency and strict budget discipline by the government. But what should be the way forward on the part of the government, on the part of stakeholders, on the part of even citizens?
Well, on the part of the government, we've always said that government should exhibit what we call sincerity of purpose in all of their actions and inactions.
Yeah.
You're occupying a public office, you're expected to serve the public. And in expecting you to serve the public, you must be seen to be serving the public. That is on the one hand. There is what we call Open Treasury Portal.
Yes.
It's a civic tech tool that citizens can log on to and look at budget performances, both at the federal and the subnational.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the last posting on that website should be around 2024.
Quite unfortunate.
So what happened to 2025 budget? What is the performance of the 2025 budget? It is when questions like this remain unanswered that rumors begin to swirl around. And then government begins to say, oh, you are tarnishing their image or you are not representing the government well. But they've also left so much gaps that citizens can now begin to fill it in with their different thought processes, depending on the level of knowledge. So government must display sincerity of purpose. Citizens, on the other hand, must also be vigilant, because the price for freedom is eternal vigilance. Citizens must also be vigilant, and they must take more than a passing interest in the development of their community, of their state, and of their country. What happens, you see, for Nigerians, for a lot of us in this country, we are too individualistic. If I may coin it that way, we are too individualistic. As long as my bread is buttered, then it doesn't matter if the bread of the rest are not. And it is evident in our day-to-day activities. You see citizens, you see people flouting the law. You don't have fellow citizens who decide to look away. When you see citizens demanding for accountability, for probity, for transparency, you see other citizens of the same country,
that same person.
Yes, criticizing that same person. What is the problem? Why are you demarketing the country or demarketing the state?
Are we not in all this together?
Or demarketing our president? Forgetting that the success of the president, of the administration of the president, is the success of the country. And how do you measure the success? It is not just by our president. How do I coin it? Our president is doing well. Okay, how is he doing well? Is the economy growing? Is the day-to-day life of the average Nigerian, is the quality of our living improving or retrogressing?
All right.
So these are some of the questions that needs to be answered. And for people with influence, this is not the time to be quiet. Yeah, this is not the time to be quiet. We need to speak truth to power. And those in positions of authority should also have a listening ear. You are in a public office. You are in the public eye. People will see you. people will talk about you, people will talk to you, people will criticize you, people will commend you. It is your duty as an occupier of that office to sieve all of this information